Political violence takes place all over the world. Disputes over natural resources, inter-ethnic conflicts, and tensions around elections are just a few of the drivers of political violence. More can be done to prevent and end violence. The Purdue Peace Project engages with local citizens and communities where political violence is likely to occur, and we help these citizens build peace in their communities. The Purdue Peace Project, promoting peace through local action. We know that local citizens have the knowledge and expertise to identify potential political violence in their communities and the creativity to design and implement strategies to prevent such violence. This is called a locally driven approach to violence prevention. The Purdue Peace Project convenes groups of local citizens affected by an existing or a potential conflict. We create opportunities where citizens can dialogue about how to prevent political violence in their community. Oftentimes, local citizens form local peace committees where they identify, design, and implement strategies to prevent political violence and promote long-lasting peace in their communities.
It's something that comes from the community, it's something that comes from the people themselves, and it is gradually developed, and then finally it is being supported. It is the community who says, this is what we want. This is how we want to do what we want to do.
So the idea is to bring them together during this actor meeting. They talk about potential strategies to solve the potential conflict, and eventually later on they start implementing those strategies. Well, during most of our actor meetings, we try not to encourage a discussion of the history of the conflict, because it can be disputed. And the sides that we bring together, oftentimes they're the ones in conflict. And the point is to establish common ground, to inspire them and encourage them to think about the solutions.
The Purdue Peace Project successfully supported communities in Ghana to address long-standing chieftaincy disputes and unify communities in Nigeria fighting over a prolonged land dispute. The Peace Project was also instrumental in supporting local citizens to prevent violence around national elections in Liberia.
In Liberia, to watch former ex-combatants who were soldiers, many times child soldiers during the Liberian Civil War, to now be working harmoniously with the Liberian National Police and with the Ministry of Transport. About 10 years ago, I think if somebody suggested that that was a possibility, many people would have rolled their eyes and said that's not a possibility. But I think, through the work that we've been able to do, providing the space for those groups to come together and to work on projects that both of them care about together, those relationships have started to be repaired.
We have one of our new projects in Tubodon, Ghana. This is in central Ghana. And this project was about a long-lasting chieftaincy dispute between two royal families, and there are two chiefs who are kind of contesting power in the town. And as a result, the community became underdeveloped. People between the two sides, they were not speaking to each other, they were killing each other. Kids could not go to school because of this. There was a whole street that was like a symbol of separation between the two sides of the town. The town was physically separated into two because of the dispute. As a result of the work of the local peace committee that was formed there with the support of the PPP, the two chiefs came together to recognize the appointment of a district chief executive, and they came together, they hugged each other, they spoke to each other, and this was not just a symbolic gesture of the peace coming to Tubodon, but it was just a proof to the whole community, to the whole town, that peace is coming and that development is coming.
The Purdue Peace Project strongly believes in the importance of documenting and measuring our work's impact over time. While collaborating with local citizens on their violence prevention initiatives, the Purdue Peace Project collects data and identifies evidence so that we can assess the effectiveness of the peace-building strategies. Our local collaborators are actively involved in this process. We then share our findings with academics and practitioners.
After we bring groups together and convene them in what we call an actor meeting, we then track the activities that they're putting into place. So this is where kind of our systematic data collection at the university really kicks in. So depending on the nature of the project, we will do different kinds of data collection, different kinds of data analyses, but it's important for us to track the progress of those projects over time. So that we can see process-wise what sorts of things are working, what might need to be tweaked. But then too, we can add to the scholarly body of knowledge about political violence prevention and peace building. It's amazing to me when we first get there how many times people will tell us, no one has ever invited us to be a part of an initiative like this before. And they show that appreciation. But then they're really appreciative, I think, and really impacted when they see the results of their actions, of working together. Those are moments that are really inspiring to me.
The Purdue Peace Project, promoting peace through local action.